welcome to another episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy. I'm Julia Wiegand, and I will be hosting, offside to the camera there, Parkinson's disease is what the topic is of the day, and we will be hearing more from Tingo as well as Nicole Skatuler, who can help everyone suffering or a loved one who is suffering with some rock-steady boxing. So don't go anywhere. More on Parkinson's disease and rock-steady boxing on today's episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy. And welcome back to this episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy. I'm Julia Wiegand, and that's Tingo front and center alongside Nicole Skatuler. How's it going?
Hi.
Nicole's a little nervous.
Good.
Oh,
Everything's going good.
Great. Well, today we are going to be talking about Parkinson's disease, which is a serious topic. However, there is a lighter side to this that is also a beneficial thing that requires exercise, physical therapy, and you just so happen to do it here.
We do.
So, to start off, we are going to just kind of give an overview to the audience about what is behind Parkinson's disease.
So Parkinson's disease is a neurological disorder. It's caused by a drop of dopamine in the brain and damage to the nerve cells. Scientists don't really know what specifically causes Parkinson's disease, but they do believe it's a mixture of genetic factors and environmental factors. They do believe around 1 million people in the United States suffer from Parkinson's, and around 10 million through the world, worldwide. It usually starts around the ages of like 60, but there are a lot of cases of early onset Parkinson's, which is anywhere from the ages of 35 to 40 with the onset.
Now, when it comes to Parkinson's disease, what are some of the signs ahead of time and the symptoms of Parkinson's disease? What should people be on the lookout for, or what can people expect from it?
So I think a lot of people think Parkinson's is only about tremors, but a lot of the guys that we work with here don't see tremors super early on. It starts with memory problems, pains in certain limbs. They have balance issues, gait issues. They'll have trouble speaking. Drooling's a common one that they've had, and then mostly the tremors. We had a few guys that came in and they thought it was a balance problem or a vision issue, and here it ended up being a Parkinson's issue.
It seems like it's one of those situations where either you or someone you know knows someone or knows a loved one that suffers from Parkinson's disease. And when it comes to the short-term / long-term aftermath of Parkinson's disease, what can people expect?
A lot of people start experiencing depression just from the decrease in the quality of life. Mostly the tremors get worse, the pain gets worse. It starts affecting the vocal cords. So they'll have slower speech, they will have problems thinking about what they were going to say. They're really quiet, they get really quiet. It freezes up the vocal cords. And then it's a lot of tremors. The tremors get worse, they get more severe as Parkinson's goes on. Problems from the medication that they've been taking. So it's both mental and physical, the long-term effects.
And Parkinson's is a progressive disease. So with Parkinson's, there is currently no cure, even though there's a lot of good research on prevention, right? So not prevention, but management. So the key with Parkinson's disease is, even though it is a progressive neurological condition and it tends to get worse, a lot of people, especially doing some of the things that Nicole's been doing with them, have been finding that they can prevent that decline, progressive decline, and in some cases people can actually see some improvements in terms of function and activities of daily living. So even though, you know, a lot of people get diagnosed with Parkinson's and they think, oh man, this is the end of the world type thing, but there is a way that you can manage it, and there is a way that you can fight back, which is what Nicole will talk a little bit about more.
Well, on that note, when we come back, we will be diving into an interesting way that can stay off the Parkinson's from progressing more, and it can also happen right here. So don't go away. Rock Steady Boxing on Wellness Through Physical Therapy. And welcome back to today's episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy. I'm Julia Wiegand, Tingo up front with Nicole Skatuler, and they are talking about Parkinson's disease. Now, earlier we discussed the side effects of Parkinson's, what's kind of to expect if you are diagnosed or someone you know is diagnosed with Parkinson's. Now comes the interesting part. We are going to be talking about Rock Steady Boxing. Give us the details.
So Rock Steady Boxing is a fitness program that was founded in 2006 by a man named Scott Newman. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's, early onset Parkinson's, at the age of 39. So when he went with his neurologist for his follow-up appointment, his neurologist recommended doing some exercises to slow down the progression. And he said, okay, well, I was into boxing, I want to do boxing. And his doctor was kind of laughed and was like, yeah, like, good luck, like, don't hurt yourself. So Scott made up a program called Rock Steady Boxing. It's a no-contact boxing class for people that have Parkinson's. And it started out really small. I believe it started in Indianapolis and now it's in 900 gyms across the country, and there's a few in Europe as well.
Wow. Now, how do people make the connection between boxing and Parkinson's?
So one of the things that a lot of studies have found with Parkinson's, to slow down the progression, high-intensity physical activity is the best. It actually could also prevent you developing a neurological disorder such as Parkinson's or dementia. And it has to do with, it combats the muscle stiffness and it helps with the brain. So what it does is creates more pathways for the brain.
When you do high-intensity exercises, the chemicals that's missing in the brain, dopamine, that people with Parkinson's disease don't have a lot of, is produced more. And also the receptors that the brain has to process these dopamine receptors are actually more active. So what it does is when you do high-intensity exercise, it allows dopamine to be utilized better because they have a limited amount. It just helps them function better. So the American Parkinson's Disease Association actually recommends people with Parkinson's disease exercise regularly, and their quote is, the higher the intensity, the better. And by the time most people get Parkinson's disease, if I remember correctly, about 60% of the dopamine has already been depleted in their brain. So that's by the time they're diagnosed. So that's why they say the quicker the better. So with Parkinson's disease, even though there's no cure, if you can make the most of the dopamine you have available and just improve its function, it can really help going a long way to help manage the problem and also prevent progressions.
Another problem people with Parkinson's see a lot is pain. There will be muscle pain, pains all over their body. And about 85% of people that did the high-intensity physical activity said that it reduced their pain and it helped block certain pathways in the brain for the pain receptors.
And plus, boxing's a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Yeah. So yeah, most of I know there's a lot of people out there, like Nicole said when Scott Newman first started, thinking, people with Parkinson's disease and boxing. It's kind of hard to picture unless you've seen it. So it's actually quite an amazing sight. You see little 70-year-old ladies, hitting punching bags, and these guys that, I went to Indianapolis to get certified as well as Nicole did, and I consider myself to be fairly physically active, and they put me through one of the programs, and it kicked my butt. I couldn't bend the next day. I couldn't stand up. So it's something that even though you don't think that you're capable of doing it, it's actually geared towards people with Parkinson's disease, so they can really, and it's geared in a way that anyone can do it, from a 85-year-old lady with Parkinson's disease to the 5-year-old at the time guy still be able to participate in the program.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Rocksteady Boxing, the way they have the classes set up, there's levels 1 through 4. So it is based off of how progressed the disease is for you and what limitations or no limitations that you have. So 1 would be either newly diagnosed or symptoms aren't too severe yet, all the way up to 4 where we would modify everything for the person.
Now, how long have you guys been involved with Rocksteady Boxing?
Around about 4 or 5 years ago, and we started off in a little facility where we really didn't have much equipment, being a physical therapy unit, and seeing people with Parkinson's disease and seeing progress, but nothing spectacular. When you start seeing, like hearing stories about other people in other clinics, having this great program where people with Parkinson's disease was really helping them out, we're like, we got to do it. So we took the commitment. Me and another trainer at the time flew out to Indianapolis and got certified in the program, and started it rolling from there.
Wow. Well, how have past years been with the program? Since you brought it back to Fyzical, how are the faces of the people that are involved? How are their loved ones talking about it?
A lot of the guys tell stories about how their life has improved since they started Rocksteady Boxing. One of the members was saying that he was really upset. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he wasn't able to help his wife shovel the driveway. That was something he always liked to do for his wife, and then once he was diagnosed with the Parkinson's, it was a lot more difficult. And then his wife had to do it. So once he started doing Rocksteady Boxing, he started seeing the improvements and now is able to help his wife with the snow. Their loved ones, a lot of them, their wives are gym members, their husbands are gym members, and they were saying that they just see such a difference from when they do come, they don't come, even the smallest things as tying your shoes or turning the doorknob. A lot of the guys, when they came back after COVID, were saying that with the gym being closed for the 4 months that there was a shutdown last year, they did notice such a significant decline in their balance and their speech and their fine motor movements, and when they came back, they eventually gained it back and said that they just feel so much better. They have their quality of life back.
And I did read a story once about a gentleman who had been participating in the Rocksteady Boxing program for several years. This is down in Indianapolis. I just heard about this. And one of the things he was really grateful for, and people with Parkinson's disease would know this, was that he could still eat and pick up some peas with his fork. So simple things for people that have steady hands, but for the people with Parkinson's disease, doing simple things like that is a great thing, being able to just live your life and not having to depend on others to help you out.
Another thing that a lot of the guys have said, it's nice to have a group of guys that know what you're going through, because with the drop in the dopamine and everything, and the diagnosis of Parkinson's causes depression in a lot of people. So they said when it started, like when they were diagnosed, they felt like this is the end of the life as I know it, this is the end of the world, and depression is a secondary symptom of Parkinson's disease. So they said just being with we do it 3 times a week here, so being with the guys that understand what they're going through, what they're doing, it's like a bonding kind of thing. It's nice to be around people that understand what they're going through.
And it's interesting too, because not only are they seeing a positive impact physically, they're also seeing a positive impact with their mental health as well. High intensity, 0 contact. It sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, and that's actually been found to be fairly safe too, because when this started occurring in Indianapolis, a lot of the medical community was like, whoa, what are you guys doing to these guys? You're going to get them hurt. So the Rocksteady Boxing main corporate company hooked up with the Indianapolis University. I'm not exactly sure. It's University of Indianapolis, one or the other. And they tracked the boxers for a period of, I think it was either 9 or 12 months. I don't quite remember.
I think it was 9 months,
9 months. And in that 9-month period, and I think in the Indianapolis Center they have about 500 boxers there. So in that 9-month period, they had 0 injuries. So it's actually, for the people who think, it's something that's dangerous, it's actually quite safe when done right.
One of the things we try to focus on is fall prevention too in Rocksteady Boxing, because your risk of falling increases once you have Parkinson's with the gait and the shuffling. So we try to do fall prevention with the guys too, so it's helping them learn how to go about their diagnosis safely as well. So it's helping them, giving them everyday tools for, God forbid, they fall, no one's home, they know how to get up, they know how to land, spread out their impact. So it's beneficial for the guys.
It sounds like something to where it gives them a little sense of independence when, you know, being dependent is something that they have to keep in mind as well. And something like this where 0 injuries are reported sounds fantastic. Well, when we come back, we are going to dive into how to join and give a little recap about what Parkinson's disease is and what impact, positive impact, that Rocksteady Boxing has had. We'll be right back. Parkinson's disease and Rocksteady Boxing on Wellness Through Physical Therapy. And welcome back to this final segment of today's episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy, where we're talking Rocksteady Boxing and how Parkinson's disease solely benefits from boxing and what boxing entails without all of the contact. In front and center, we have Tingo and Nicole Skatuller, who are going to tell everybody how they can join.
So with our Rocksteady boxing program, we have it 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's an hour-and-a-half class. So it goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10:30 to 12, and then Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6:30. So there's variable times just so everyone can make a time if they need to. What we do when people first sign up is we have them fill out a few questionnaires about mental health, diagnosis, when they were diagnosed, yada, yada, yada. And then we also do a balance test, a gait test, and it's a quick process. And then we just talk with your medical doctor and see what their opinions are, and then we get you all signed up. April is actually National Parkinson's Awareness Month, so we're going to be doing a week free of classes if people want to come down and join. Anyone's more than welcome to come and observe a class. We do have some people that when they hear the boxing, they're like, oh gosh, like a boxing class. And then they observe it and they're like, oh, okay, like this is something I'm interested in, this is something I want to do. So if anyone would like to come and see a class, just give us a call, more than welcome. Super exciting. And then we'll do a week free of classes in April for Parkinson Awareness Month.
Now, what are some of the things, no super spoiler alerts, but what are some of the things that people can expect when they walk in and get ready for the class?
I try to make the class as fun as possible because exercise should be fun. It should be something you look forward to throughout the day. One of the more popular things that the guys like to do or the members like to do is we have the battle ropes, we have the lighter ones, we have the heavier ones, so whichever one you feel comfortable with. If we have to modify something, some will sit in a chair and do it, some will stand and do it, others do it faster, others do it slower. Everything's at their own pace. Battle ropes are really popular for our cardio section of it. We use our trampoline back there, our rebound trampoline with medicine ball throws. And then with boxing, what I like to do is try to put balance in there as well, just to help with any balance issues they have. So I'll set up like an obstacle course. They'll do about 35 hits on the heavy bag, go back and forth. The speed bags are a really popular one because everyone gets really frustrated. They can't do it really fast. And eventually the guys have gotten a lot better and they are faster than me now at this point. A lot of the boxing is fun. I try to make the boxing different, keep it interesting, keep them on their toes. Warm-ups, we like to do warm-ups. We do some core work. Core work is really important with Parkinson's just due to it helps with the balance. The stronger your core is, the better your balance will be as well. And then we always do something fun at the end before our cool down like golf or basketball. We've done bowling. Guys are really competitive over it. I actually lost golfing today. So we just try to make it fun for them as well. So, and if during class, if anyone has any suggestions or a certain workout they like to do, they're more than welcome to be like, oh, I want to push the sled today, or I want to go run on the treadmill. So.
But the key to the classes the key to boxing actually is that it covers everything that people with Parkinson's disease have deficits in. So if you think about boxing, it works on agility. It works on coordination, it works on footwork, it works on endurance, it works on balance, like Nicole said. and it works on fine motor skills. So all those aspects are covered pretty much every session. And and there's also what Nicole tries to get people to do as well, because people with Parkinson's disease tend to kind of like withdraw internally to themselves. So one of the big things is the interaction with the other people. And we have a fairly large facility here, but when the boxers are here, we usually know they're here because they're loud. They vocalize themselves, or Nicole makes them vocalize themselves. And there's always high fives, and there's always whoops and hollering.
Knuckle punches.
So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, aside from like a regular workout program, we really try and focus on the problems that people with Parkinson's disease have. And like even falling, like Nicole said, she'll try and teach them how to fall properly, because unfortunately with Parkinson's disease, there's a good chance you're going to have a fall. And if you know how to fall properly and you know how to get up, that is really important, because that can really prevent an injury. And there was even talk of a lady who took a spill in a wine fest in Indianapolis. She took a spill, did a cut or a roll, got right back up on her feet, didn't even spill the wine. So that was a proud moment for her, apparently.
Well, thank you so much, you two, for introducing me, for sure, about Rocksteady Boxing, how you guys hold it here, and the benefits it has on Parkinson's disease.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And yeah, welcome. Come and join us.
Thank you, everybody, for watching today's episode of Wellness Through Physical Therapy. Remember, give Fyzical a call. Rocksteady Boxing sounds super cool, but also it has huge benefits when dealing with Parkinson's disease. That's it for this Wellness Through Physical Therapy. We'll see you next time.